when I first left Christianity, I was still a little bit on the edge about it because I was kind of like, well, I sure hope I'm making the right decision. And then I was thinking, well, probably what's going to happen through my studies now that I just found all this out, as I study more, I'm going to find some pros and cons about Jesus. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. But ironically, after I started searching it out, I didn't find any pros at all. Everything was a con. Con, shaka con. It was all cons. There was nothing at all that could support the idea that Jesus being the Messiah. Nothing.
Does the name Sar Shalom, Prince of Peace, really apply to Jesus according to the Christian's New Testament? Jesus said what? Matthew chapter 10, 34 and following. Do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes will be those of his own household.
Welcome to TaNaCh Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live from Kingsville, Texas, USA with another episode of TNT, the Twisted New Testament with Rabbi Stuart, the man Federow from the Big H, Houston, Texas. Welcome back, finger dancing Rabbi. How are you doing today? There they goes, the old famous finger dance. I love it. Good deal. So for all you folks out there who've been asking where we've been on Monday nights, we're trying to get back on that saddle again. I will tell you that it's going to bounce between 7 and 8 o'clock, but I think we're back on for Mondays again. But it might juggle between 7 and 8 depending on schedules. So just keep that idea in mind. We're going to try to stay away from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and stick with just Mondays, just so everybody has a nice solid day remembrance of when you can find Judaism and Christianity, a contrast, and why Jews don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah, I like that a lot better than TNT.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so tonight, please tell us where we're going tonight in our discussion. I know you have a
round and round. We always go round and round in our discussions.
So we've decided that it's going to be a really good option to create topics based on chat comments from now on.
Right.
And I think that's brilliant. We should do that. That way they're getting their answers also. They don't feel like we're ignoring them.
Tonight's not a question. Tonight is a response to something somebody said. Basically, when was it? 4 or 5 days ago? I don't remember when it was. But
it was just less than a week ago, yes.
Yeah, less than a week. In the context of our discussion on the chat, Sharon made the comment, Yeshua Jesus has many names, Prince of Peace, the Good Shepherd, Light of the World, Bread of Life, etc., etc. And when she wrote that, I was thinking, when was Jesus ever in his life called Prince of Peace?
Right.
When in his life was he ever called the Good Shepherd? When in his life was he ever called Light of the World? When in his life was he ever called Bread of Life? Now, it's possible, I don't happen to remember it, old man memory and all that, but I don't think he was ever called that in his life. I think those are post-New Testament acts of piety on the part of the people who, would say, he's my shepherd, he's a good shepherd.
Well, John, to be clear, John 10, and I'm not that smart, I just looked it up. John 10, it does say, I am the good shepherd, I know my sheep, and my sheep know me.
Okay.
So he called himself that, but people didn't call him that apparently. He called himself that.
But when he says, I am the good shepherd, was he saying, this is a name for me?
Right.
Or was he saying, I am a shepherd who is good at my job or something like that?
Oh, right. So you're addressing her statement about he has many names, quote unquote.
Right.
Ah, gotcha.
And my question tonight is, do these names that she gave really describe him well?
Now, what if let's how about for a second? Let's grant just for a moment the courtesy of maybe she didn't mean to say names. Maybe she meant titles. Maybe.
Okay, but my question stands then, slightly altered, edited. Do these titles really describe the Jesus we know in the New Testament?
Oh, now we're going somewhere.
And I don't believe they do.
What did he shepherd? Who did he shepherd and keep him safe? He criticized his disciples for being blind.
Exactly.
He violated the Torah yeah.
As we'll see when we get to that name, a shepherd is supposed to take care of the flock.
Yeah.
Jesus's flock would be the people who followed him. Well, the example that I gave, and by the way, for any one of these critiques of whether or not these names or titles are accurate portrayals of what Jesus was like, I'm sure there are plenty of other examples where he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't try to get, 50 examples of every name.
Sure.
So, but, as we go through these, I'm sorry, I just don't think that they are really good epithets.
I feel you.
For Jesus, whether they're names or titles. So the first one that Sharon gives is Prince of Peace. Now, this probably comes from the Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 verse. And the point tonight is not to talk about what that really means, what it's really about. Okay, the point is, I believe that when she uses the word Prince of Peace to refer to Jesus, it's derived from this verse in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, where at the end, it appears in most bad translations of this Hebrew text from Isaiah 9 that it says Prince of Peace. So because Christians will say, oh, to us a child is born, Christmas coming up, that's got to be Jesus because he was a child.
Right.
Okay. Despite the bad translation, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the discussion on the word Prince of Peace. The Hebrew in Isaiah 9:6 is Sar Shalom. And you might find like a local church, usually Lutheran Missouri Synod, that in my personal experience, maybe not all of them, but they're usually Lutheran churches. That'll be the Prince of Peace Church. Okay. That's the name that they give their church. But the problem is that the word Sar does not mean prince. The word Sar means ruler.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit, though, for a couple minutes about the word shalom. You ask the random person, what does the word shalom mean? And some of them will say, oh, it means peace, hello, and goodbye. No, it doesn't mean hello, and it does not mean goodbye. It means peace.
It's a greeting that they use for that, but it's not what it means.
Exactly. Right. Thank you, William. Right. It's used as a greeting.
Yeah.
It's used as a what's the opposite of salutation? The end of a letter.
Yeah.
It's used as a farewell.
Yeah.
But it means peace. It's like the hippies, okay, in the 60s, peace.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't say goodbye. They go, peace out, whatever. So they're using the word peace as a way of saying goodbye or as a way of saying hello. But the word peace means peace. And the word shalom means peace. Okay. The same thing is true with the word sar. Okay. It can be used to refer to a ruler who happens to be a prince. But the word sar doesn't mean prince. It means ruler. People will say, oh, but Rabbi, the wife of Abraham was Sarah, and that means princess. No, it doesn't. It means female ruler. Now, it's the diminutive. So if a woman is in her late 50s, okay, and her name is Sarah, she's, okay, I guess maybe you could say she's like a princess, but she's a queen. She's not young enough to be called princess anymore. If you follow what I'm saying here?
Right.
Okay. So the word sar means ruler. Now, in Strong's, if you want to look this up yourself, it's Hebrew 8269 is the number of the word sar. The word sar. Okay. And it says from H8323, a head person, the ruler of any rank or class, captain that had to rule, chief, captain, general, governor, keeper, lord, taskmaster, prince, principal, ruler, steward.
So it could be, if it says prince, then that means princess. The feminine part would work also then.
Doesn't mean prince.
But it means
ruler, but it's used to refer to a prince. It's used to refer to a master. It's used to refer to a lord, as in lords and ladies. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. Okay.
It's like the word shalom means peace. It's used to say hello and goodbye, but it doesn't mean hello. It doesn't mean goodbye. The same thing with the word sar. It means ruler. It's used to refer to a captain. It's used to refer to a chief, a general, a governor. but the word means ruler. Okay. Here's the Brown Driver Briggs definition. By the way, it's a concordance lexicon that's about that thick. It's
Gotcha.
it's literally like probably about
Wow.
5 or 6 inches thick.
Wow.
It's enormous. Okay. And it's a scholarly work, and you'll find it in a short version. Okay. But it's not giving you all the references and all the examples and whatever. Okay. So the word sar does not mean ruler. It's used for all sorts of different things. And unfortunately, some translations, Hebrew English dictionaries and concordances will use the way it'll use the way that the word is used in context and say that that's what the word means. So the word sar means ruler. But according to Brown Driver Briggs, look at all the ways in which it's used. Prince, ruler, leader, chief, chieftain, official, captain, leader, vassal, noble, official under the king, captain, a general, commander in the military, head, overseer of other official classes, heads, princes of religious office, elders of representatives, leaders of people, merchant princes of rank and dignity.
Okay.
A vassal.
Okay, so I think I finally get what you're trying to point out here. I think what you're trying to say is that sar does not just mean prince. It means a whole lot of stuff. It's not just like that's the only thing it can mean is prince and princess. It's got a lot of titles that it can qualify for.
I'm saying that's the way the word ruler is used, and so they're claiming that that's the definition of the word sar. But the word sar doesn't mean prince or ruler. It does not mean leader or chief. It does not mean chieftain or official. It does not mean captain.
You can give us your video feed.
It means ruler.
Yeah.
And the way the word ruler is used is as a prince. The way in which the word ruler is used is as a leader, as a chieftain, as a vassal, as a noble.
It's all based on context then.
In the context.
Yeah.
But the word means ruler.
Okay.
And if you take a look at these words, okay, a captain is the same thing as a general.
Right.
A captain is not the same thing as a commander. A commander is not the same thing as an elder.
Yeah. Right.
So it's very confusing when it does that.
Okay.
Okay. Patron, angel, ruler of rulers of God, warden. The word means ruler. So the question becomes, why is it saying the word Prince of Peace? Why does it choose that word in Isaiah 9:6? For the express purposes of giving the image subtly, maybe unconsciously, subconsciously, of the son of a king. So by using the word prince instead of ruler of peace, Prince of Peace, it's trying to show Jesus as the Son of God, who's the King of Kings. We know this is supposed to be about Jesus, and they claim that Jesus is a Prince of Peace. We know that the Messiah, the real Messiah, is explicitly supposed to bring peace between nations, between peoples, and between people. So, for example, you have Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2 through 4. And it shall come to pass in the last days, the mountain of that Eternal's house shall be established at the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow to it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Eternal, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Eternal from Jerusalem. And he, that's the Messiah, shall judge among the nations, shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Micah chapter 4, verse 1 through 4 says exactly the same thing until you get to the end, where Micah adds this extra line, and that is, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Eternal of hosts has spoken it. Ezekiel also talks about what the Messiah will do when he gets here, with Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 9. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the handstaves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. In other words, it'll take 7 years to get rid of all the weapons of war when the real Messiah comes, because the real Messiah will be truly a ruler of peace, and bring peace for, forever, for eternity. But look at what Jesus said. Again, the whole point is, does the name Sar Shalom, Prince of Peace, really apply to Jesus according to the Christian's New Testament? Jesus said what? Matthew chapter 10, 34 and following. Do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes will be those of his own household. He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Do you have any idea how cultic that sounds?
Right.
You're supposed to love the leader instead of your family? That's like a hallmark of a cult.
It's got David Koresh written all over it.
It really does.
Yeah.
Not to mention a whole bunch of other cults.
Sure.
Okay. So if you take a look, I didn't include the quotes here because we've got to get moving, but
yep.
If you take a look at the life of Jesus, how much did he really seem to be a prince of peace, a ruler of peace, whatever word you want? How much of peace did he seem to be, especially after saying, do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. By the way, Christians will say, oh, but it's the effect of Jesus.
Yep.
If a person who's Jewish believes in Jesus, it'll split up the family. No, it's not the effect of Jesus. Jesus said his purpose in coming was to bring a sword. The reason why he came was to set man against his father and son against, the whole bit. Okay. So in Isaiah 53, it talks about, and every time this comes up, Isaiah 53, I'm just centering on this idea of peace, okay? It says that this servant who suffers because he follows God had done no violence, and yet he suffers, okay? It doesn't say he committed only violence that was good and necessary. It said he had done no violence. Jesus, unlike a person who's a prince of peace, a ruler of peace, did a whole lot of violence. Everybody knows how God commands money changers and people selling sacrifices to be in the temple, like Deuteronomy 14. But Jesus was a violent man. He made his own whip to scourge people with, according to the Christian's New Testament. Okay, and that's not the only violence Jesus ever did either. Okay, he killed a tree because it wasn't the season for fruit, yet Jesus was hungry and he got angry at the tree. Okay, he put demons into innocent little piggies, by the way, that he himself did not own, and then he let those piggies die.
Yeah.
The New Testament doesn't describe Jesus as a Sar Shalom, as a
right
ruler of peace,
right.
Prince of Peace, whatever you want to call it. It actually describes a very violent man.
Yep.
Okay. The next thing that Sharon McGillivray said that is a name of Jesus is the Good Shepherd. I'm not sure how that really works with Jesus being a good shepherd.
When he runs the pigs off the cliff. Okay, that was a bit much. Cliff into the body of water.
Does a shepherd let his own, they weren't even his own, but if they were his own, would he let them kill themselves?
Yeah.
And the whole point of putting the demons inside the little piggies, if he's God, wouldn't he be able to just control them without putting them in the piggies? When they said, let us...
That's my thought too, yeah.
Let us kill ourselves. Yeah, go ahead and kill yourself.
You know what? As ex-Messianic, I had I looked at that as kind of like a hidden message that pigs were not food, even if you were Christian or anybody, because it's like if demons, Jesus was going to cast demons into pigs. It was like putting trash into a trash can. So if Jesus viewed the pigs as a trash can, why would we want to eat it? You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like a hidden, sort of like a hidden message. But
well, my response when I read The Good Shepherd as a title for this Jesus, I just doesn't sound to me like a really apropos.
No, not even close. Not even close. Mm-hmm.
So, story of Jesus in Matthew chapter 15, verse 23. basically this woman comes to Jesus and she needs a miracle. And he sends her away. He's not welcoming. He's not acting like a good shepherd. He is not taking care of his flock, his disciples, the people who follow him. But look what he says. He answered her not a word. His disciples came and besought him, saying, "Send her away. She's crying after us." So they couldn't stand her. Okay, she's making herself obnoxious to them because she needs this miracle. But he, that's Jesus, answered and said, "I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Then came she and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." But he answered and said, "It is not meet," okay, it's not nice, "to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs." And she said, "Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered and said to her, "O woman, great is your faith. Be it unto you even as you will." And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. If Jesus were a good shepherd, would he make the woman plea? Would he make the woman beg him and come back and bother the disciples? Wouldn't a good shepherd, if the sheep came to the shepherd with something wrong, wouldn't the good shepherd take care of the sheep immediately? I just don't think that that's a particularly apropos title for Jesus.
Huh.
Okay. Next one she cites, and there are others. And by the way, remember again, there are probably plenty of other verses in the Christian New Testament that show that these descriptive names or titles they're not really accurate portrayals of the character of Jesus. So she said he's also called the light of the world. Okay. Mark chapter 4, verse 10. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. So he's explaining why he gave a parable as a response. And he said to them, "Unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them." What? The light of the world, who wants to spread the light of the belief in Jesus and save people from their sins, is speaking in parables so that the people he speaks these parables to will not understand, will not become converted, will not go to heaven? That's the light of the world? I would think the light of the world, okay, the true Messiah would make sure everybody got saved, because especially if he's a good shepherd and cares about his flock, his disciples, the people who follow him, he would want them to be forgiven. He would want them to understand. Okay, he would want them to be converted. Okay, converted. Okay, he would want their sins to be forgiven, but he speaks in parables because he knows they won't understand. That's not a light of the world. And her final example was of various names or titles for Jesus is Jesus is the bread of life. Okay. Is Christianity really that much into life in the here and now? Or do they only see the here and now, the life we live now, as like a foyer leading to the real important, which is heaven and the afterlife? Okay. I just can't see Jesus being a bread of life, because Christianity, the religion about Jesus, seems to be so full of blood and death. So it's the death of Jesus that saves, not the life of Jesus. Okay. Jesus himself died on the cross. They claim that you have to have a blood for the sacrifice for forgiveness. And if there's blood that you have to have for forgiveness, that means something has to die. Okay. And when it says he's the bread of life, the life they're talking about is salvation from sin. But our Bible is very clear. No one else can die for your sins. And it says that repeatedly. Psalm 47 or 49, where it says no man can be a ransom for someone else. Okay, Deuteronomy 24:16. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Let's see. What am I missing, William? There's plenty of others.
Sorry, I was having a coughing spat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
No, you're good.
Well, my point is that Christianity doesn't seem to be about life. It seems to be more about death and dying and how to get to heaven after you die than it is about life and living in the here and now. And I'm sure people can think of a much better example from the New Testament of why Jesus is not a good example of being the bread of life. Anyway, the point is that when Sharon says that these names, Prince of Peace, Good Shepherd, Light of the World, Bread of Life, et cetera, are other names for Jesus or titles for Jesus, I just can't see it.
Yep, I feel the same way. Pretty much every problem that I've ever seen, I still say this like even now. When I first left Christianity, I was still a little bit on the edge about it because I was kind of like, well, I sure hope I'm making the right decision. And then I was thinking, well, probably what's going to happen through my studies now that I just found all this out, as I study more, I'm going to find some pros and cons about Jesus. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. But ironically, after I started searching it out, I didn't find any pros at all. Everything was a con. Shaka con. It was all cons. There was nothing at all that could support the idea that Jesus being the Messiah. Nothing. I mean, everything from what you discussed tonight about his attitude problem, about him breaking the Torah, about him not fulfilling anything for Passover. Passover had nothing to do with sin sacrifice, and they think that Easter, what they associate with Passover, is directly connected, and it's not. It has nothing to do with it at all, and the prophecies about beating your swords into plowshares, none of that happened. Returning people back to the land, none of it happened. So everywhere you look, there's nothing but cons on every no matter what stone you turn over is nothing but a con. Nothing but a con. That's it. Yep. Unbelievable.
Take it out of context, you're left with a con.
I like that. That was good. Was that your coin?
Huh?
Did you coin that?
I doubt it because I don't think I.
You're the only person I've ever heard say it. That's why I'm thinking you might have coined it.
Somebody else.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. That's pretty cool. And say it again.
That a text, when you take it out of its context, leaves nothing but a con.
That's
context.
Great.
Take the text out,
that.
You're left with a con. Yeah,
I love that. That's great.
Brilliant.
Okay, well, good deal. All right, well, there's about a good half hour there, which is a good time frame there. Just so you viewers know, sometimes moving forward, Rabbi and I we'll do like 2 shows worth in one setting. And then I'll divide them up into 2 shows, right? Tonight we're just doing the 1 show. But as we move forward and we get enough content built up from the chat messages and the comments, then we can do like a 30-minute segment and then take like a 5-minute break and then do another half hour. And but you guys get to watch it. If you're watching live, you get to see everything uncut. And then people who have joined the channel, it's like $5 a month, you get to see all this raw uncut stuff anytime you want to. There's no time limit, no time holding or anything on it.
No time left for you.
But if you are not a joined member, not a subscriber, but a joined member, if you don't have that, then you have to kind of wait till the videos come out and they'll be edited. They'll be cut down into segments and things like that. So that's kind of how that works. But that being said, Rabbi, I already have your books, or I had your books on screen.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's actually on the YouTube thumbnail, not here. Bring your books back up if you don't mind.
Okay.
You don't need the translations, just the 2 books, and you can tell them what they're.
Oh, you're no fun.
Okay, do it how you want to.
But look at all my books.
Those are all different translations. That's so cool.
Right. It's English, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, and Hebrew.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. And the other one is this one.
Yes, the real reasons why Jews don't believe in Jesus.
Right. So you wanted it like this.
Yes, that's what we wanted right there. Well, I'm going to see put them outside your face. There you go. Now, can you finger dance while you're doing that?
Not while I'm holding. I can do this. The books will dance.
I love it. That's funny. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. And we'll catch you, Hashem willing, same time-ish, same place next week, same Monday nights, but 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, we'll figure it out each week. If you're not on Facebook and you're not following me there, you won't know until it actually just goes live. So, all right, y'all should be well. Take care, everybody. Shalom.
If you enjoy this channel and the content, and it has changed your life, or perhaps the life of a loved one or a close friend, would you please consider supporting this work? You can click this link and it'll take you directly to my website with the donate button. Or there's a Patreon link and a mailing address for snail mail if you would prefer. If you do donate, please do me a favor and leave me a phone number where I can contact you and thank you properly. I hope you all have a wonderful 2025. Shalom.